Music heals. Good music heals perfectly. Home to good music and the Word of God. Stay with us.
I should send you that song.
Yeah, right song.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning once again to this beautiful show. It is Find Your Voice with Coach Emmanuel the Oxygen. I'm here right now this morning to share with you very important tips that will help build your life, build your career, and build everything there is to build around you. This is why we do this every Monday morning, 10 a.m. on Grace Impact Radio, the best online radio you can find anywhere in the world. Trust me on this when I say this. I'm saying it with all intensity and reality and truth because right here on Grace Impact Radio, we give you word, we give you music, and we give you entertainment. And trust me, for us, entertainment is not just about music, it's about what will build your career and build your life. And that's why this show is here to help you become a better person, and it's called Find Your Voice. Ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to roll this morning on Find Your Voice. You're just listening to the very anthem of victory by Zahar Valaha. That's our theme song. That's whenever you hear that signature tune, just know that it's time to find your voice. Welcome once again. I'm excited to be here this morning because I know that the radio waves is a powerful tool to reach out to the entire space in the world. And because we're online, we're reaching out to the entire globe and everywhere you are. Tune in right now. Get ready. Tell your friends if you've tuned in that it's time to find your voice with the Oxygen. Ladies and gentlemen, today we'll be talking a lot about how you can overcome limiting beliefs, because I know that you have been struggling with those limiting beliefs all along the way. But today, I promise you, we will be dealing with that limiting belief in your life. Guess what? When you fail to deal with your limiting beliefs, you will be stranded at one spot for too long, just like the Israelites roving around one mountain until God said, "You've been around this mountain too long, guys. You got to move forward." That's what I want to do with you on the show this morning. I want you to move forward. I want you to overcome those limiting beliefs. I want you to understand that your life means a lot more than you're making it seem. I want you to know that your life, you've got a lot more to offer the world. And the only way you can do that is for you to move from where you are by overcoming those limiting belief. And that's why everything about Find Your Voice show with the Oxygen revolves around strength, revolves around empowerment, revolves around grace, revolves around that which will make you move from where you are to where you ought to be. And one more time, we'll listen to the signature tune by Zahar Valaha, Anthem of Victory. Oxygen. Ladies and gentlemen, today we want to talk about overcoming limiting beliefs. Now, let me just drop this hint here. We're going to tackle this common roadblock in life. And what is this roadblock? Is limiting belief. It stalls you from finding your voice. And these are simply negative thoughts that run through your mind, negative thoughts and beliefs that run through your mind that hold you back from reaching your full potential. Now, you see, some of these things happen because of the environmental experiences we have had, from our past, the things we've experienced in the past, the expectations we have from society, and more so the fear of failure. There are three elements that help, that really push these limiting beliefs and make it so outrageous on us and makes it overwhelming. The first on my list is past experiences. Now, there are things you may have gone through in life, things that have bothered your life, and the things you've seen in the lives of your parents, for example, the things you may have experienced in your personal life and in the lives of those around you, that begin to make you feel that, you know what, with all of these kinds of things happening around, I doubt the possibility of taking my game to the next level. That's your past experience speaking to you and creating what we call limiting belief in your life. The second thing that happens to some people is that they have this expectation from society, and the expectations they have is so strong that they feel they don't have the capacity to fall into that challenge and fit in properly and deliver the value. And so because of that, they struggle and they tell themselves, look, you know what, I don't have the capacity to deal with this. I don't have what it takes to expand my horizon and deal with these challenges that I'm faced with. And so they give up and tell themselves, I'm not suitable for this role. I don't have the capacity to handle this. I just want to drop it off and let it go. But you know what? The third very limiting thought that comes into our mind that brings about this limiting belief is the fear of failure. And what has fear of failure got to do with this? Loads and loads of people never get to try because they don't want to fail. And that brings about limiting belief in their lives. So they tell themselves, I can't do this, because deep down inside their heart, they are afraid that if I do it and I fail, I'll be mocked. If I do it and I fail, people will look at me as someone that is not intelligent, as someone that lacks capacity, as someone that doesn't have what it takes to succeed. So let me remain in my comfort zone where nobody has seen my woes or failures, and let me just stay cool and let everybody just move on with their lives while I move on with mine. And because of that fear of failure, they have this very strong limiting belief that sets them back. But today, I want to tell you, on this show, Find Your Voice with the Oxygen, we will be dealing with all of your limiting beliefs, and we'll be looking at practical steps that will help you overcome every limiting belief in your life. So grab your journal. In the first edition, I told you in the first episode of the show, I told you always have your journal by your side and get ready to take notes and get ready to write down the things that I share with you on this show, because they will help you. This is an empowerment show, so you don't joke with this show when it comes your way, and just do your best to write down the things that I share with you. So today we want to look at how you can overcome your limiting beliefs. So first of all, someone would ask me, what, therefore, is a limiting belief? Simply put, limiting beliefs are the negative thoughts and convictions that restrict you from your goals, that restrict you from chasing or pursuing your goals and realizing your full potentials. This is what limiting belief is all about. Whatever stops you, limits you, doesn't allow you change and live your life to the fullest, bringing out all the potential and converting them to some great success, is a limiting belief. Are you getting it right now? Okay, so anything, any thought, any conviction, call it any name, as long as it distracts you, draws you back, stops you, restricts you from pursuing your goal, it is a limiting belief. And that is what we are here today to tackle. We're going to tackle it. We're going to deal with it. We're going to ensure that we bring it down and overcome it totally. All right, haven't given you that example. Let me give you a couple of examples that will help you understand better, because sometimes they say experience is the best teacher, but that's not very correct. Actually, example is the best teacher. I've not seen a teacher go to the blackboard and write experience on the board and starts giving those examples and call them experience. No, they write examples on the board and then they start writing the examples for you to know. So we're going to look at a couple of examples of those limiting beliefs. And these are words that, play in your head. I give you a good example. Number one example is I'm not good enough. If you have ever felt that way, if you have ever heard those words in your head, say to you, you know what, guy, don't push this thing. This is not for your class. You're not good enough. You're not good enough. When you hear those words, say, I'm not good enough. Trust me, you are facing limiting belief right there. Another example is, so I don't have what it takes to succeed. Or some people go to the extreme and say, I'll never be successful at this. I'll never be successful. That is a very bad, terrible, terrible limiting belief. You don't want to have that in your system. But hey, it's there. You feel it sometimes. You struggle with those words. And then some people would say, I don't have what it takes. I don't have what it takes. I've heard that a couple of times from people around. They tell me, you know what? I understand everything you're saying, but I don't have what it takes. I don't have what it takes. I'm going to give you a practical example with respect to that. I don't have what it takes. And some other people will simply say, you know what? Others are better than me. These guys are better. These people are better than me. So let me give you my practical experience when I had this limiting belief called I don't have what it takes. Last year, it's recent. I've been dealing with it all through my life, and each phase it comes, I crush it because I have this understanding, and that's why I'm sharing with you, because it's something I have found that I've kept a lot of people bound, kept a lot of people down on the ground. I was planning a major event in the city of Port Harcourt in Rivers State, Nigeria, and this event was an education fair and exhibition. I wanted to have this big event in the city of Port Harcourt, and I talked to a couple of people, planned out, did all the synopsis, the concept notes, the strategy document, and I tried my best, went to the banks, sought sponsorship. It looked bigger than life, larger than life. I kept trying. Something in my head was telling me, look, you have a good plan, but you don't have what it takes. You don't have what it takes. And so I was almost gonna give up. And one morning I told myself, you know what? I just need to push. And so I went to the bank again and they gave me an appointment. And after that meeting, they kind of trashed me because they were asking me certain questions that I really didn't have the very right answers for. They asked me for my content. They asked me for my contact base. They asked me how many schools do I have access to, how many organizations that are in the education space. Big questions, critical questions. I took note of all of those questions, all of it. All of the questions, I took note of them. And then when that meeting was over, it appeared truly that I didn't have what it took to do that event, to pull it together. But guess what? Because I understand that limiting belief will stall you from pursuing your goals, I said to myself, everything they have asked that I couldn't provide evidence for, I'm going to get it. And so I rose up from that meeting, and I called a friend of mine and said, this is what I want to do. Do you know someone that can help me pull this through? And she said, yeah, why not? I'm going to give you a contact. I'm going to talk to the person, reach out to her. And trust me, that was how I got in touch with the lady. We set up a meeting. And from that point, she gave me all the contacts. And then I realized from the contacts she was sharing with me that I knew some of these people. And I started reaching out on my own. Then she was also helping to reach out. And we came together, brought in a third party to this whole thing. Before you knew it, 27th and 28th of October 2023, we hosted the first of its kind education fair and exhibition in the city of Port Harcourt, Rivers State, Nigeria. And it was a talk of the city. It was a talk of the state. Everywhere, the Ministry of Education, the governor of the state, everyone, they were all in tune with this event. Universities attended, secondary schools, private schools, public schools. It was wonderfully packed, beautiful event that we put up. And of course, this year we're having a second edition, by the way. So it was successful. If I had allowed that word, that sentence, I don't have what it takes to prevail, that event would never have happened. Never have happened. But it happened because I fought that limiting belief and I overcame. And that's why I want to play you a song that will give you more teeth to bite every limiting belief, called Fight Song by Rachel Platten. Enjoy the song. It's coming your way right now. All right, people, that is Fight Song there by a very beautiful singer and artist, Rachel Platten. She says this is my fight song. And so that's what you would need to do if you want to actually overcome that thing in your head called limiting belief. You've got to start out and have your fight song. You got to be ready to fight. You've got to be ready to overcome everything that says no to you. Don't ever let go. Don't ever give up. Don't ever stop. Don't ever say, look, I can't do it. Tell yourself, I've got my fight inside of me and I'm going to fight and I'm going to overcome. So, right now, ladies and gentlemen, guys, out there, we'll be moving to the next segment, and that will be talking about the strategies to overcome, first of all, to identify limiting beliefs. I've given you examples of limiting beliefs, but right now, I want you to get this very important way of identifying the limiting beliefs. Sometimes they're there, you never know. You might think it's normal. I mean, it's everyday life. It happens to everybody. I mean, stuffs like that happen. Hey, don't let that deceive you. Stuffs like that don't always happen. And if it happens, you've got to fight it. You've got to get it out of your system. Because if you don't, oh my word, it's your life. I'm here to help you. And this is why the show, Find Your Voice with the Oxygen, comes your way every Monday, 10 a.m. on the best online radio station, Grace Impact Radio. So you're ready. Let's do this together. We're going to look at strategies to identify limiting beliefs. How do you identify limiting beliefs? Right? The first thing you need to do to identify a limiting belief is pretty simple. You need to first of all take some time out to reflect on your goals and the thoughts or feelings that may arise in your mind that may want to stop you from achieving those goals. You have goals you've set out. Last episode I talked about goals, your values, your core values. Now you set out your goals that you want to achieve, and then you discover that there are some negative thoughts that come through your mind with respect to those goals. The first thing you want to do, what are those thoughts? What are those thoughts that stop you from taking action? Please do me a favor right now. Write them down. Those thoughts that make you feel that I don't think I'm capable of doing this. I don't think I have the capacity. I don't think I have the connection. I don't think I have what it takes. Please write it down. Reflect on these things. Understand them. Something about life that I love is when you get intentional about anything whatsoever, you begin to understand the best way to deal with those and tackle them. But if you allow things to slide normal, that's life. You will never be able to deal with them. So get intentional. First of all, what are those thoughts that stop you from taking action? I just shared mine with you. The first thought that would have stopped me, is the thought that you don't have what it takes. You don't have the connections, you don't have the contacts, you don't have the people. And I noted everything down. So what I'm sharing with you is what I have done and what I have seen successful people do. And it's been successful all the way. And I noted those things down and I started tackling them one by one. So take that down. Note it. The second thing you need to do is what I call journaling. I always talk about it because I do that a lot. If you're watching on Facebook, anytime you watch this, look at that. I have my journal here. I've scribbled a couple of things. This is my journal. I like it handy, very handy. This is my journal. So I write down the things I want to do, okay? Whenever this video, you see it anytime, just look at it. This is my journal, okay? So I have a couple of things I put down in my journals. It's something I do, right? So maintain a journal where you write about your experience, focus on the moments you feel discouraged or held back. But let me correct an impression about journaling. Growing up, we used to have diaries, and in those diaries, the most thing we wrote in those diaries were when people offend you, you write, "These days, this person did this to me, and it did that to me, and I felt very bad." Excuse me. If that's what you do, that's not journaling. Please stop it. If you still do that, please stop it. Stop it right now. Stop it already. You're actually creating wrong, negative memories that will drag you back. You're creating limiting beliefs. That's what you're doing. Your journal is for you to write moments of reflection. It's for you to pick out the things that, experiences that you have that made you feel drawn back a bit or discouraged, the things you feel will stop you from moving forward so that you can tackle them one by one. That's the whole idea. That's the whole idea. So you want to describe that situation where you felt limited and write it down. And then you want to ask yourself, what was I thinking at that moment when this thought came to my mind? All right. What beliefs are underlying those thoughts? What are those things that seem to come through each time I think of my goal? That makes me feel, look, man, you don't have what it takes, or you don't have the connection, you don't have an uncle that can help you. Those thoughts are your limiting beliefs. Write them down, journal them. And the moment you're able to do that, you have something to work with. You have something to look at and say, number one, I feel this way about this project. This is limiting belief. You itemize them and look at what you do next. Pick on each of them and begin to tackle it. We'll come to how you would deal with it, but it's important you do that. And then one other thing I do, I take feedback from others. I take feedback because I realize that, all right, okay, one of the things I did when I was doing a broadcast for this show, on my broadcast community, I was putting out information. I said to them, please listen to the show and give me your feedback. I'd like to hear from you. Listen to the show. I need your feedback. I want to hear from you. That's very important. Take feedback from others. It's important you take feedback. I said in the first episode about you taking feedback and how to give and take feedback. Yeah. So if you don't listen to that first episode, just find a way. Perhaps I believe you'll come across it someday on this radio. It might just be a playback and you just get lucky. But this is important. Take feedback from people. Ask your trusted friends, ask family members, ask your colleagues for feedback on your behavior and your attitudes. Because sometimes others, of course, see patterns that you miss. There may be a particular way you behave at a certain time that indicate that you're giving up on something you have talked about. You get what I'm saying here? I share my experience with you about feedback. I was having a conversation with my wife one day, and she said to me, last year when you were planning this education fair and exhibition, I kept pushing, I kept reminding you, but I noticed you just were held back. You were not making any move per se. You just kept telling me, don't worry, when the time is right. And suddenly, 3 weeks to the event, you were all over the place. You were on radio, you were everywhere, you were making calls, you were making contact. And 2 days to the event, you just all over the place doing everything all at once. And the event came to pass. And so this year, she said to me, seeing the pattern that you operated in last year, I'm not going to bug you again. I'll just remind you once in a while how you're planning for this event. Because she observed the pattern and she knew that I was putting things in place without making noise, without creating a scene. And the moment everything was set the way I wanted them, I was all over making sure that the lines were moving on, touching each other, the dots were connecting, the T's were being crossed. And before you knew it, it was a huge event that people, even those who didn't want to sponsor, came around, saw the success, and they were amazed, truly amazed. So that's something that I want you to do. Talk to your people, talk to your trusted friends, family, and colleagues. They will give you clues of a pattern and what will happen. What do others notice about your responses to challenges? That's what you're looking out for. They're going to tell you in all sincerity, this is what I've observed. Take note of those things. Have they seen you shy away from opportunities? Some of you, sometimes you have an opportunity before you, you give a million excuses why you can't go for it. I don't have the qualification. I don't have what it takes. I don't have the contacts. I don't know the person that's going to help me. I don't have the money to do it. Oh, my word. All of those things are limiting beliefs. Trust me. If you put your heart to it, you will find someone out there that will help me. It happened to me. It happened to me. And I found a way and I overcame. So that's how you can identify your limiting beliefs. I've given you 3 or 4 key points. First of all, I said reflect. All right? Take time to reflect on your goals and find out those things that seem to stop you. Take time to journal. Write out those things in your journal so you can action them. And then take feedback from trusted friends, family members, colleagues, so that they can tell you if there is a pattern they've observed that or something they've noticed about your responses to challenges, or whether you back out or shy away from taking opportunities when they come. Those things will give you indicators that you need to overcome your limiting belief. Before I go to the next segment, I would like to tell you one more time that we will take the fight song, because this is a fight. To overcome something requires a fight. And after that, I'll be giving you the numbers to call. The numbers to send your WhatsApp. Just WhatsApp only, because the line is not going to go through anyways. Just send your WhatsApp on that number. Perhaps let me just give it to you before we take the fight song, so you can begin to ask questions if you have, and we'll respond to you live on the show. The number to check up on and send WhatsApp messages is simply this: +234, because this is an international, a global radio. Grace Impact Radio is global, it's online, and so everywhere in the world we're communing, we're reaching out to everyone right now. So the number is +234 706 437 2015. +234 706 437 2015. If you're on the station right now on MixLR, you're going to see the number. It's going to be displayed somewhere around the comment area. You can just begin to send your message, your question, your comment, and we will attend to it right on the show. And right at this time, we'll be taking Fight Song by Rachel Platten. Oh. Oh, I so love this song, people. It's a beautiful piece there by Richard Platten. Fight song. I've got a lot of fight left in me. I don't know how much fight you've got left in you, but ladies and gentlemen, trust me on this one. This is your show on Grace Impact Radio, the Find Your Voice with Oxygen. And this show is here to help you improve your capacity, improve everything there is to improve in your life. I want you to join us. If you're ready, you can send your message on WhatsApp 234 706 437 2015. I take the number again. It's plus 234 706 437 2015. Let me take it a little slower this time. Plus 234 706 That's the number. Lots of messages. Send your questions, your comment, and we'll treat it right here on the show. It's your show. Find your voice. Today, we're dealing with overcoming limited beliefs. That's what we're talking about. And so we've talked about a couple things since the beginning of the show. And this segment, we're trying to reach out to strategies to overcome those limiting beliefs, strategies to challenge them and overcome those limiting beliefs. It's very important. I tell you what, people, this is awesome. Oh, I got a comment. Someone just sent a comment and said, I'm wowed by this show. I'm so impressed. Fantastic. Thank you for that. Thank you for that feedback. Of course, we're taking feedback on the show. And, I still got another comment there saying, this is really enriching. Fantastic. So if you're out there, you're not sending in your comment, and that is coming from Modestus. I'm going to read out your name if I have it. I'll tell you. So put down your name in the comment in your WhatsApp message, and I'm going to read out your name and also your comment. And if you have a question, why not? We'll take your question and answer it real time on the show. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at how we can deal with this limiting belief. What do we do? There is a very important system that we use called cognitive restructuring. Now, cognitive restructuring is simply a method where you replace the negative with the positive. I don't want to go into the technicalities, but that's what cognitive restructuring basically is. It's just a system that we use in replacing the negative with the positive. So that's why it's called restructuring. And it has to do with your mind. That's why it's called cognitive. So if you combine those two words, cognitive, restructuring, you get the message. Don't you get a drift? I make things very simple. And that's why I am the oxygen. And anywhere I go, life flows. This is Find Your Voice. So what's the first thing you need to do with cognitive restructuring? Pretty simple, and I'll share this with you real time. First of all, I'll give you an example. Let's say you want to identify a limiting belief, a very specific limiting belief in your life, all right, and challenge its validity. You want to replace that limiting belief with a positive, empowering belief. So you have a negative belief limiting in your head. You want to replace that with a powerful, positive, and empowering belief. That's what you want to do. And that is very intriguing there. Very interesting and intriguing. Why do I say that? I'm going to give an example of how that works real quick. I like making things simple. Let me say, for example, you have a limiting belief in your head, something like, I'm not good enough. Now, this is one that's common to a lot of people. I'm not good enough. They don't say it out. Don't forget, it's in your head. I'm not good enough. Maybe somebody does something to you and you just draw a conclusion that it's just because I'm not good enough for him. I'm not good enough for her. That's why I'm treated this way. You know, someone once said to me, because I don't have anything I bring to the table, so that's why. And I said to him, that's not correct. It's a wrong perception you have about yourself. But of course, that's a limiting belief. What do you do when that limiting belief comes? To challenge that belief, this is what you would do. You ask yourself, what evidence do I have that supports this belief? What evidence do I have that supports the fact that I'm not good enough? Then you ask yourself the second question. What evidence do I have that contradicts this belief? Now, if someone says you're not good enough, or sorry, not someone, you say to yourself, I'm not good enough. What evidence do you have? Let me show you some evidence you have that you are good enough. Now, this is the empowering belief. Tell yourself, I am capable and have achieved many things in the past. I can learn and improve. Now, go back to yourself, go back to your history and look at your life whether there is something that you have done before that you succeeded at. If you find just one thing is enough, and I believe that everybody here listening to me right now, you have certain things you've succeeded at. That means you are capable and you have achieved many things in the past. And if this particular thing is a challenge, you can learn and improve. With that simple illustration, you will begin to replace that negative limiting belief with this positive empowering belief that says, I am capable and I have achieved many things in the past, and so I can learn and improve. Once you do that, you're going to be doing what we call cognitive restructuring, replacing those negative thoughts with positive, empowering beliefs. And when you do that consistently, believe what I tell you here, right, guys, your life will have a massive shift. Massive shift. The second thing is a popular one called affirmations. A lot of people take it for granted. Affirmations. What are affirmations? Affirmations basically are a list of positive words or statements that you say to yourself every day. Those are basically what affirmations are. So you want to create a list of positive affirmations that counter the limiting beliefs that you have, and you repeat them daily. For example, instead of I'll never be successful, you simply say to yourself, I have the skills and determination to achieve my goals. Rather than say, I'll never be successful, say to yourself, I have the skills and determination to achieve my goals. Oh, I just got a comment coming in right now on the WhatsApp platform. And this is thanks for the show. This is coming from the United Kingdom, from Idowu Babalola. Thank you for listening on the show from the UK. Idowu Babalola is saying right now, thanks for the show. If I continue to have a belief that I need work experience in the country I am in before I see myself qualified to compete for jobs, is this a limiting belief too? If yes, how can I overcome it? Fantastic. So his question is simply that he's in a country, he's feeling that he needs work experience in that country before he can apply for any job. Is that a limiting belief? Yes, it is. Now, for your case particularly, you have work experience ready from the country you're relocating from, and those vast experiences are practical experiences that you've had. So you necessarily don't need to feel that you have in that country you cannot compete for jobs that are available. What you need to do is to find out specific skills that you need to have, not work experience now. Specific skill you need on that job that will give you an advantage in competing. Get those skills. Go for those skills. The moment you have those skills and add to your work experience from the country you're coming in from, you will be able to compete. So that belief that tells you, until I have work experience, first things first, how would you get a work experience if you don't get a job there? So it's a limiting belief. It is a serious limiting belief. So what you need to do, tell yourself, what do I need to learn that will give me an edge to qualify for this job I'm competing for? That's what you should be looking at. And then look for those that skill or whatever it is, and go for it, get it, and then you already have an edge over the others. Don't forget, your years of working in the country you're coming from and the expertise you've gathered over the years, you can't buy it in any university. You can't get it from any school. That is sufficient, but you just need to top it up like icing on the cake with the right skill set that you need. So with that, you do very well. That's what I have to say to you. And that, just go ahead and do just that, and you'll be fine. Well done, Ido Babalola. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for answering that rest. I have what it takes to compete for this job, and I'm going to get it. Start saying those affirmations to yourself while you look out for whatever skill set you need to up your game in that space. So the last thing I'm going to tell you in dealing with this is, I mean, there are about 5 tips, but I just give you 3 for today, is what I call visualization. I do this a lot. Visualization, I started doing it from a child. from childhood rather. As a growing child, I always did visualization, and I do it till today. And most of the things I visualize go in my mind. Maybe the same but trust me, just visualize yourself something and overcome your stuck by little bit. So achieve your goals. Imagine a scenario right now. Let's go. Let's go into the imagination space. Let's go together. Area right now where you overcome your limiting beliefs. How does it feel? I mean, imagination is free. You're not paying a dime for it, are you? So let's go together. Imagine right now that you overcome your limiting beliefs. How do you feel? How does it feel to you? Right? So, in that space of imagination, what actions did you take in that imagination? As you were imagining that you're overcoming your limiting beliefs, what actions did you take? Write those actions down, and believe me, go take those actions right now. That's your inner self talking, bringing out the real thing that you need to succeed. It's going to give it to you free because you're not making conscious effort to action them. It's going to give it to you. But right now, come out from that imagination, write those steps you took in your head, and go action them. And believe me, you will do great. You will do great. You will do great. You will do great. Once again, guys, this is Find Your Voice with the Oxygen on Grace Impact Radio. And I believe that you have learned quite a lot today. You know, we're going to fight one more time as we go take this beautiful song by Rachel Platten. And the song is titled Fight Song. Let's go. Wow, that was Fight Song by Rachel Platten. Beautiful piece there. I love the song with all of my heart, people, because it tells you what empowerment is possible. You keep fighting it and you get over it and you win and you got those voice with the Oxygen on the best radio online you can find, Grace Impact Radio. This is the best place to be every Monday morning, 10 a.m. We'll be here doing this, and this radio station just gives you life. Trust me, it gives you a mix of word music and entertainment. The best radio you can find. None other can compare to Grace Impact Radio. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's begin to wrap up the show this morning. And what do we need to do? Let me just conclude real quick. Listen, by identifying and challenging our limiting beliefs, we can free ourselves from self-imposed barriers and step into our true potential. I want you to take everything you've heard on this show seriously. Follow the steps. Do all you need to do. But remember, the first step is awareness. Getting to know that you have limiting beliefs. And once you recognize these beliefs, you can actively work to replace them with empowering beliefs. Stay tuned, as next week we will continue on this journey and we will be dealing with embracing authenticity. That's the episode next week. I'm giving you a head start. We'll be dealing with embracing authenticity. At this time, we'll be listening to the signature tune so that you know that is Find Your Voice. And I'm signing out, ladies and gentlemen. This is The Oxygen. I am Emmanuel Dogba, the best radio show host that you can find, because wherever I go, life flows. From me to you is ciao ciao.
In a world filled with distractions,
it seems hard to feed your mind with good word and music.
are you tired of listening to programs that won't enrich you or give you a happy day?
Don't worry, we've got you covered.
Grace Impact Radio is an internet radio station that brings you quality music, word and entertainment suitable for all ages.
To connect with us, go to the Play Store, download the Mixer app, search for Grace Impact Radio and then connect. Or simply visit our social media handles and click the link.
Grace Impact Radio, changing the atmosphere with the right word, music and entertainment. In a world filled with distractions,
it seems hard to feed your mind with good word and music.
are you tired of listening to programs that won't enrich you or